Well, howdy ho, neighbors. It's once again time to come back and do some tinkering on this channel. It's been a while, had a lot of stuff going on, but we're back at it again. And today, other than the dogs, back over there, where's my hand going? Right there, the dogs. We're going to be putting these two RKI toolboxes in the bed of the old Ranger. My buddy gave them to me. They're definitely used, but they're still good. And he didn't have any use for them, so he said, hell, if you want them, you can have them. So thank you, Devin. I appreciate the fuck out of it. We'll give you a nice little close look at them. They are side boxes. They've got 14,000 holes in them, but that's okay. I don't know what all that mess is, but before we throw anything in here, we're going to clean them out. And I don't have keys for these locks, so I'm going to have to replace these locks too. And I'll do a video on that at some point. But first things first, we're going to go ahead and get these things mounted up. I want to say there must have been some kind of divider tray that went in here, but they're not there. I have this one kind of mocked up. These did come out of a Chevrolet Colorado, a newer one, which the bed rails are a lot taller on. So I am going to have to drill more holes in this angle. That way, I don't think it's angle, I think it's flat stock actually. That way the feet can sit level. What I'll probably do is I'll still use this top hole. I'll just drill another hole in the top, give it a little bit more stability. And that axle is going to be going in this truck at some point, just not right now. I got to have Devin come down and help me with that. So we're gonna go ahead and put that one on the back burner. But I have another toolbox coming. My sister picked me up one up in Pennsylvania. One of the regular ones that go from side to side. It's going to sit here, so I have to make sure my measurements are right. Ignore the mess. I don't clean this truck out very often. I typically just use it as a dump ground truck for right now, considering the axle's bad in it. So it just takes a little put around to the dump every once in a while. But we're going to go ahead and start getting this thing. I got to get it measured out, and I'm going to go ahead and I think she said 22 inches is how deep that other box is, so I'm gonna space it off another probably 1.5 inches. That way there's no interference with the lids or anything like that. So we'll get this figured out, measured out, and I'm gonna start screwing in the self tappers that hold it into the bedside itself, and then I can go in and find my drill bits. Hopefully that little Harbor Freight drill will actually drill through that flat stock. This guy is about 24.5 inches as it sets right now from the front, and I think I like that. That's going to give me at least a couple inches of space between the two. That way there's no interference. So that should work out. So I'm going to go ahead and get to going with these self tappers. Just bought this new DeWalt kit, which is really nice. I've had a lot of my tools stolen from me over the years. I used to be a Ford mechanic back in the day, and when I left, my box sat there at the dealership for a couple days unattended, and someone went through my shit, which was real nice, which meant that I had a whole mess of tools go missing, and this size ain't right neither. This is not easy to do on hand. Must be a 3/8 or 7/16. I think 3/8 is our man. Yep, 3/8 is our man. Alright, so now I got to figure out how I can hold that side of the box up while I do this. It's not in the best position. It certainly ain't sitting level if you look at it. It's cambered off to the side, so I'm going to figure something out there. And then I'll go ahead and start drilling these holes in. And it's got a lot of clearance with the wheel well, so that's good. Let's figure this out. This box is mounted. I have this leg mocked up. That one's still attached over there. I ain't worried about that. The nice thing is, I pulled the jacks out. This one's just barely touching it. But this thing sits level on its own. Not really a big fan of where I put the self-tappers. There's one there and there's one there. You can see it. And they kind of go into, if you can see, maybe, oh, where is it? It's right there. They kind of go into the slope of the bedside instead of the top part, but it should be fine with these legs on it. It shouldn't have any problem. So I'm going to use my step bit on this drill to drill through the box, and then once I have that hole lined out, I'll take the drill on the inside and bore through to get the hole on the flat stock. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Well, the right box is installed. Looks pretty good. I got to do the left box, but my battery for my drill died, so I got to go to town anyway and get some window switches for my van, which this van I'll do a video of eventually. But we'll let the drill recharge, and once I get back and install these window switches, it should be done, charging at least. So we'll find out. Well, it's about a week later, and both toolboxes are installed 99%. I'll show you that self-tapper and that self-tapper stripped out in the bed, so I have to get new ones. They're going to rattle for a little bit. I don't really care. I would put just regular bolts in through here, but the problem is where those mount to, that's directly over top of the frame, so that's not going to work. But this side went very well. I'm very happy with this side. And if you take a look inside, if I can do it with one hand, well, it's stuck. What I ended up doing was I put one regular bolt here. I didn't have enough to do both sides, and actually I still need to find a plug for right there, but that's okay because I still need to wash it. I still have the self-tapper on this side. I already have the hole drilled. I thought I had more of those bolts, and I don't. So I am at some point going to go to the hardware store, pick up 2 more bolts and 2 more nuts. That way I can actually secure them better than with the self-tappers. Self-tappers work. It's all sturdy. You can see I'm shaking the truck bed, not the toolbox, and the other one is the same. Extremely sturdy. I'm very happy with them, especially for the price point, which was free. This left side one is a little bit harder to get into for some reason, but yeah, you can see I did the same thing, except for I mounted the self-tapper to the actual bed rail, not the side on this one, and then I have the bolt in the front there. So I think they turned out good. It's definitely going to work well. Whoops, wrong button. Whenever I get that other toolbox to put in this side, here, I think there will probably be like a 2-inch or so gap, maybe a little bit more. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly what the measurement was. I think I slid them back to, well, I said it in the video, it's either 24 or 25 inches, and I think the toolbox is 22 inches. But there'll be a little bit of a gap, which is good. Keep the lids from interfering with each other. And they really don't take up a whole lot of bed space. I was a little bit concerned about that at first, seeing him in my buddy's truck, but his wheel wells are narrower. Mine are a little bit wider. They only come out, if you look, the wheel well starts right where this rib is, and it really only takes up 1 rib on each side, which is quite nice. I'm happy with that. It's the same over here. Just this is the rib that the wheel well starts at. It just takes up this rib here, and the bed space is back to normal. So it's not, you know, it's not really in the way of anything. I might take and cut the ends off of these bolts, just so that way when I'm in there doing stuff, I don't snag myself or things on those bolts. But I mean, really, I like the way it turned out. I am going to paint them. They're not going to stay white. I'm going to paint the whole truck at some point, and I will paint the toolboxes to match. But for right now, it looks good. Kind of look like a discount Orkin man, but that's okay. I think that's going to be it. So the next video on this truck you'll see will probably be putting the rear end in, if I can get Devin convinced to appear on camera. That should be the next one. I have 99% of what I need for this thing. The only things that I need are, I might end up needing brake lines, but I don't know yet. I might be able to swap over the ones from the current axle. I do need differential, and I need U-bolts. I think that's it. I have literally everything else. I even bought new studs if I had to replace these wheel studs. Brand new lug nuts. I even have a new diff cover for it. Oh, I need RTV for the diff. That's right, for the diff cover. I don't have any. But that's going to be fun. With that project, we're going from a very broken 345 rear end to a 373 rear end. If you know anything about this truck, which you probably don't because I haven't talked about it a lot. I got it for free. I put these tires on it. They are stock size for a four-wheel drive. This is a two-wheel drive truck. They are stock size for a four-wheel drive, and they are a little bit too much for the four-cylinder right now. I think I was looking at a gear chart, and the 373s should put it right at what it would have been stock, with the stock size tire, which I have not had on this truck. This truck come to me with, hell, they're over here if I can get through. My yard's a mess. Gotta do some cleaning, but came to me with these. They are, I think they're 205. Let's see, they're brand new, but they are 205 70 14s, which the truck was supposed to come with, I believe, either 215 or 225 70 15s. We'll find out real quick. Those tires were too small, and they were not even rated weight wise. Hello, dogs. They were not even weighted weight wise for this truck, so I put those on there. They are 235 75 15s, and they are, well, obviously much taller than stock as well. They're a 28-inch tire, I think, and they look good. They're not good. They're junk tires. They're those Iron Man All Countries, which, funny enough, happened to be on my ambulance. And I also put on, I didn't buy these ones, but I put the same tires on my 88 F250 I used to have. And they're junk. These ones are horrible in the snow. You just get absolutely no traction in the front or the rear end at all. So they're not good. I would not recommend them to anybody, but they were cheap and that's what I needed at the time. But anyway, with the stock tire size and the 345s, the gear ratio and everything else, as far as the tires are concerned, should be the same with these tires and the 373s that are in that axle. So that'll work out. Also, I'm not just replacing the axle just because of the gear ratio. Every bearing in this axle is bad. You can hear it going down the road. You can even hear it when you're puttering along at 5 miles an hour idling in first gear. It's shot, and it was cheaper for me to buy the axles from the junkyard than it would have been to buy all of the bearings and all of the seals and everything, and then take it to a shop, because I don't have, like, the pinion bearing is bad, and I don't have the means to replace anything to do with, well, for one, ring and pinion, and for two, much less the pinion bearing just itself. So I have the means to replace the axle, so I'm going to replace the axle. And again, it's going to be a lot cheaper for me to do it this way than it would be to pay somebody else to basically rebuild that axle. And I might do something with that axle in the future. I may end up rebuilding it later on down the line, but we'll see. So that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something maybe, or just had fun watching me put some toolboxes in my pickup truck. Probably the next video that I make is going to be a introduction to my van. That'll be a good one. And hopefully, look at the damn tires on the van right now. Hopefully it lasts the trip down to Crossville and back. That might be the last trip I take on it with those tires, because they are bad. Anyway, I guess we'll talk at you next time.